Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hightop Sports Game Day. Happy Saturday to all of you, to week 2. We have a jam-packed show for all of you guys today. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Pick, which we'll be getting into later on. We have a stacked lineup for you boys today. We've got Mr. Cowboy Ty bringing it in, representing Texas today. We'll see him in just a minute. Then we've got Cody, the professor, giving us the Husker, Busker, loving nonsense. Bush lattes are flowing. I love it. And then the man, the myth, Uncle Lou, representing old Tennessee. His Georgia fans aren't going to be happy, but he's coming in clutch. We appreciate him. So it's going to be a jam-packed show, boys and girls. It's going to be fun. You don't want to go anywhere. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a little boozy, and let's have some fun. So first order of business, noon kickoff. It's a big one. Defending champions, Big Blue, Connor Stallions, all the boys going against the Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns. We got Cowboy Ty coming in to represent those Texas Longhorns with his cowboy hat. Number 3 Texas going on into number 10 Michigan. Cowboy Ty, talk to me about Texas Longhorns going up against his Michigan Wolverines.
So here's the thing: is Michigan last week against Fresno started Warren, who I did not expect to see. I expect to see Alex Orji. Alex Orji, I thought was going to develop as a passer. I thought he was going to be the guy. I thought for sure this was what was going to go down. And Warren steps in. I learned all about this guy. I wanted to see what he was, see what he was about. Come to find out, the dude beat cancer, which is, first of all, congratulations, good for him, power to him. He was a walk-on. No one even knew who this guy was. And he beat out Alex Orji to become the starting quarterback, like throwing the football. So, like, when I was sitting there and I was like, man, and then I watched the Fresno game and I was like, man, they have a lot of problems on the offensive side of the ball. Whereas Texas has no problems on the offensive side of the football. And they got a top NFL prospect at quarterback. They have Isaiah Bond, who came from Alabama. They have Matthew Golden, who came from Houston. They have Silas Bolden, who came from Oregon State. All they did was take all the NFL talent they sent to the NFL and just replaced it with more NFL talent. Whereas Michigan is, to me, is I don't know which way they're headed. They lose their coach. They have a walk-on quarterback. They lose offensive linemen to the NFL. The only person anybody even knows right now, really, I feel like, is Donovan Edwards and Will Johnson in that football team.
So look, Texas, I know a couple of Oklahoma fans, they're thinking that Texas is going to go into this Big Blue house and get absolutely pulverized. Michigan lost a ton of players last year, like you said, on top of their head coach. I expect Michigan to take a huge step back. I think they're a top 10 team just given the fact of what they were last year, but I don't believe they're a top 25 team this year, just given what they lost. I mean, I could be overstepping there, but I think they shuffle down the list in the Big Ten, especially with Oregon. USC looked pretty strong last Monday as well. Let's talk about your breakout player, though, for this Texas and Michigan game tomorrow.
Yeah, so Isaiah Bond, I don't think he was used very properly in Alabama. I don't want to say used properly. I just mean they had a lot of weapons. So, like, using, like getting everyone involved in Alabama is a tough. But Isaiah Bond is as fast as anyone you're going to see all year. He runs jet sweeps. He can get open down the field. He catches the football. I mean, he does everything that you're looking for in a receiver. He's very shifty. And I think he's going to beat Michigan for a few deep balls. Now, if they can get him away from Will Johnson, which I think they will, they'll figure out ways, Sarkisian will figure out ways to move him around and do the things they want to do. I think he's going to have a couple big plays to finish this bowl game off. And honestly, I don't think Michigan keep it within reason of what Michigan's, what people are thinking. I think this game is going to be very held by Texas, and even in the big house.
They've got it pretty close right now, but I think Texas goes in there, absolutely handles it. I think them playing at the Big Blue House plays a lot of factor into that. But again, I think Texas is super sound. We're going to talk some questions, I think, about Texas later on in the show on the future of Texas. Give me your final score prediction for this Texas-Michigan game, and then we'll don't go nowhere, though, Cowboy Ty, because we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
What's your score prediction, though?
I think the score is going to end up being like 34-17. I think Texas is going to score points. I love the Michigan defense. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think the offense is going to stay on the field long enough to hold the Texas offense. I think that's the problem. I think game flow is going to decide.
I love it. Cowboy Ty, we'll see you here in just a minute representing Texas and Michigan. That game is kicked off at noon. That is the first, I would say, biggest game. It is the biggest game of the day outside of the other two that we're going to talk about. These are probably your top big games. The last game, I think, is the biggest non-ranked game. But before we get into that game, we're going to talk about Tennessee versus North Carolina State with the fan favorite, Mr. Uncle Lou. Are your Georgia fans going to be okay about you representing Old Tennessee today? I appreciate you doing it.
Tennessee's been a pet project of mine for quite some time. Don't worry. Tennessee's in good hands with Uncle Lou here. Yeah, don't worry about
it. All right. I love it, man. Well, let's talk about it. Tennessee's going up against North Carolina State. They struggled week one. North Carolina State, when I say they, I mean North Carolina State with Grace McCall from Coastal Carolina. How do you feel Tennessee going into this game against North Carolina State tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be close. This appears to be a mismatch to me. Everybody keeps talking about Nico and like, well, North Carolina's got to get pressure on him. He's a young QB. He's only got the 2 starts. One was a bowl game. But Grayson McCall hasn't played a bunch of Power 5 teams either. I mean, let's be real. Grayson McCall's not prepared for what he's going to see here in this game with Tennessee. Tennessee's defense doesn't get enough credit. A lot of people, you think Josh Heupel, you think back to Hendon Hooker. I mean, Joe Milton was a letdown, but Tennessee's defense has gotten consistently better every single year that Heupel has been there. They've got the best player defensively in the league. I don't even think that's up for debate at this point. The James Pierce or the pass rusher. I mean, he's unstoppable. The guy's a top 10 pick next year. Now, their secondary could potentially be taken advantage of down the road, but not by NC State. I mean, I believe what I see. NC State did not look good against the Asheville College of the Stoned and Stupid, Western Carolina or whatever it is. I think this is a mismatch. I don't think it's going to be close. Tennessee defensively, I think, is going to shut NC State and Grayson McCall down. And on offense, I think they're going to go up and down the field on him. And Nico's the story because he's the new shiny object there. And Tennessee fans are way overboard on him. He's really good. He's not winning the Heisman. Heismans generally are won in a player's second good year. It's very rare a player wins a Heisman because of one good season. He did have a good game, no doubt about it. Played one half. You see the stats there, 314 yards. It was against a really bad team. We'll see what he looks like against NC State. I don't expect him to put up 314 yards in the first half against NC State. I just put it that way. I think he's going to have a great day. But Dylan Sampson running the ball. Tennessee's a running team. This is another thing people get wrong about. It's got to be Heupel and a product of like the Sports Center culture. You turn on the shows in the morning and you see whatever the Tennessee quarterback is throwing a 40-yard touchdown pass every Sunday morning. Tennessee's a running team. Number one, period. If they can't run the ball, it doesn't matter what kind of quarterback they have. You can go watch Tennessee play Georgia each of the last 3 years if you don't believe me. They can't run the ball on Georgia, so the passing game means nothing. Dylan Sampson's a really good running back. He'll go over 100 yards in this game, most likely. Their offensive line is pretty good. This seems like a mismatch to me.
Yeah, the Nico hype, again, we no hate on Nico. I think he's going to be something special, but to win it this year would be a stretch, and he's still a very high favorite. Cam Ward leads the way thanks to Florida and hyping him up week one. I think that slips off as well. But yeah, it's a very close currently on the board for NC State and Tennessee. But Grayson McCall, like you said, didn't look great versus who knows who in week one, and like you said, also hasn't faced up against a Power 5. And I think once that rush gets to him, he's going to be a little shaken up. And NC State's carrying a little bit off of what they were last year. I think NC State makes take a big step back. The ACC is wide open, in my opinion. How do you feel about Tennessee? We're going to talk about Tennessee as well later on. How do you feel they carry on into the season? And then give me your final score prediction of this game, too.
Tennessee feels like a bubble playoff team to me. 10-2, I think, is possible. They play at Oklahoma in a couple of weeks. So if they can get past NC State, the next sort of hurdle you're looking for is Oklahoma's first ever SEC game where they host Tennessee. And, of course, Josh Heupel played and coached at Oklahoma for a while, so it's a lot of storylines there. If Tennessee gets out of that Oklahoma game undefeated, then they're only going to be underdogs in 2 games the rest of the way, and that's going to be home against Bama and on the road at Georgia. If they somehow split that, they could be 11-1 in a rematch with potentially a Georgia in the SEC champions. I can't imagine Tennessee winning on the road in Athens. They got a chance to beat Bama at home, although I think it's unlikely. I think 10-2 is a likely record for Tennessee and a possible trip to the playoffs.
As mentioned at the top of the show, this show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Today, you're taking a look at to my side here. This side is the People's Picks lineup. That means, yes, you, the people, called in and picked this lineup right here. But I do want to tell you one thing. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So if you're wondering, hey, can we use Prize Picks? If you live in those states, you can. In most other states, you can as well. And now you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. So, like I said, the people picked this lineup right here. Quinn Ewers kicking off at noon against Michigan to have more than 245.5 yards. Donovan Edwards to have more than half a yard rushing or receiving touchdown, either one. And then Haynes King to have less than 200 yards passing. Travis Hunter to have more than 88.5 yards. And then Shedeur Sanders to have more, 315. Now, if you want to fade this lineup, you can do that as well, too. But this is the People's Prize Picks lineup. We all got together. Everyone picked what they felt was best. That's what we came up with. So download the Prize Pick app today and use code Hightop. You get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code Hightop on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Now back to Uncle Lou and the boys. Man, that's
score prediction. 40 to 17, 45 to 17. I don't think it's going to be close. I just think this is a mismatch.
That disgusts me that you think they're going to be a playoff team. I mean, I'm not saying I disagree. It just doesn't mean it doesn't hurt any less. You know what I mean?
Me too. Yeah. Too. Yeah. I mean, look, there's some other teams in the SEC right now are down bad, but they may eventually get good again at some point in the future too. You know what I mean, bud?
Who are you? Who are you? You got any names in particular?
Oh, you, Florida, you. So point is, Tennessee's been wandering the wilderness for 26 years. They're bound to do something at some point. It might be this year.
Do you miss us, Lou?
Come on, man.
Do you miss Florida?
Come on, man. I missed the rivalry, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, we need it back. We need
resurrect Florida, man. What are you doing?
Make Florida great again, boys.
Come on, man. Lane to Gainesville. Let's go.
Hey, I heard you this morning. This is a little off topic here, but we're here now. You're a fan of Lane going to Florida? You think it's realistic? What are your odds on that?
I think if Ole Miss makes the playoffs, it's going to be difficult to pull that off because you're going to be in a situation where you probably got to fire Napier in November, and then you got signing day and transfer portal first 2 weeks of December. What happens if you don't have a coach hired? Well, Lagway's gone. That's number one. Recruiting class falls apart. That's number two. If Lane's in the playoffs with Ole Miss, I find it hard to believe he would openly accept the Florida job, which is what it would take to keep Lagway there and to keep the recruiting class. Lane would have to openly accept the job, I think, while preparing Ole Miss for the playoffs. So I think it gets fuzzy if Ole Miss makes the playoffs. If they don't, I think there's a pretty good chance Lane Kiffin ends up in Gainesville.
Gator fans, we're against Ole Miss all year this year. We need Georgia to handle business, us to handle business. Will be interesting. Uncle Lou, I appreciate you. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you at the end of the show for Hightop Table Talk and get all of his thoughts. Again, you can give Uncle Lou a follow at Crazy Uncle Lou on YouTube. His content is phenomenal. Let's go into our last game of the day, bringing in Cody the Professor to talk about the Cornhuskers against Colorado. Probably, again, the biggest non-ranked game. Neither of these teams are ranked, but the hype behind it, the animosity behind it, two big teams are going after one another. You've got the linebackers of Nebraska saying that Shedeur Sanders is nowhere near what Dylan Raiola is, the freshman, the true freshman. I mean, this thing is hyping up to be a good one. We've got these two schools coming in with a lot to prove. Colorado completely just skull-dragged Nebraska last year, but three quick turnovers in the first half will do that to you. You like the Huskers here, though. Cody, talk to me.
I like the Huskers, but not by a lot. I like the Huskers by like 35, 31, if not closer than that. It's just a slight edge. And let me tell you why. The offensive line for Colorado is just not very good. It's not good. If Shedeur makes it through the season without being hurt, it's a blessing. I think that Nebraska is good enough on defense, keep everything up in front of them. They have a pass rush. They're going to get to Shedeur. They're going to, they're just going to shove them, push them around a little bit. The question is, with that offense, with Colorado, can the playmakers get open? Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter, that's the two biggest weapons. Behind that, they have Will Shepherd. He didn't do a lot the first game, and their running game is kind of abysmal. They didn't even run for 100 yards last game. They ran for 59 yards. If they want any success, they got to get that going. But let's go to Nebraska. So Dylan Raiola in his first outing, he threw to 11 different people. 11. So they're spreading the wealth. The well is wide open. They have a couple decent running backs. They rushed for 223 on the ground, and then they passed for 284. I think it's just a more well-rounded team personally. That's why I'm edging them out just by a tick. I think it's going to be the game of the week, the one you want to TiVo, set the YouTube TV box to, whatever, record it because it's going to be a good one to go watch back in the winter when we don't have any football left with a bowl of chili.
You're thinking a good old-fashioned shootout there here with the Cornhuskers and Colorado. Dylan Raiola being your breakout star, having a big game week one, getting a ton of hype behind him going into this week. Again, a lot of the media is pushing for Nebraska to get this thing done. I think defensively, they think they're more sound. They were missing one piece, and that is and was, and now is Dylan Raiola, which is their starting quarterback, true freshman that Uncle Lou missed out on. We should have poked and prodded on that. He's not. I'm sure he's not sweating. They've got a slew of quarterbacks. They've got a slew of quarterbacks. He's throwing his arms up. A slew of quarterbacks over there in Georgia. They should be just A-okay. This sets the kickoff at 7:30.
Yep. Well, if you want a Georgia player, you don't let him go to Buford. That's for sure, because Buford's a kryptonite. I mean, I think I saw UGA Big Dog said I'm going to burn that place down when they lost Raiola. I don't know. What do you want? Message board is wild.
Oh man,
I'm going to tell you this. I think Colorado's defensive line is much improved as opposed to last year. I think that Warren Sapp has really molded that around his temperament and play style. I think they're going to be better this week. I think it's going to be an evolution, and I think they could be a darn good defensive line. I just worry about that offensive line at Colorado. That's why I'm having them edge them out.
This is going to be a big game for both teams on where the rest of their season goes. Again, it's not going to affect the conference as one's in the Big 10 and one's in the Big 12, but could really be a momentum center on whether or not, hey, can we be a legitimate bowl contender and go after it? This will be obviously either one's second wind and get them rolling. That game, again, is set to kick off at 7:30. You can check out Cody the Professor at Hightop Sports Recruiting. Boys and girls, now for the favorite part of the show, which is Hightop Table Talk. It's like around the horn style. We're going to dive into that. And I'm sure Uncle Lou might have a thing to say about what this was transpired there. Uncle Lou, do you want to defend your honor there, or we good to move on?
Man, KJ Bolden went to Buford High School, man. He's number one safety in the country. And he's at Georgia, and he's better than Dylan Raiola. But hey, congratulations, man. Dylan Raiola was the missing piece. That's all you needed. First time in 8 years, he'll probably take you to a bowl game. Build a statue for this man, throw a parade. 7-5, Nebraska's going bowling. Whoopity-doo. And who's my man over here playing dress-up? Unless you're a cowboy, there ain't no sense in wearing no cowboy hat, man. What are you doing? Take that thing off. You look like a baker. Who are you, J.R. Ewing? What are you doing? It's not Halloween, man. Take the cowboy hat off. Stop playing pretend. Horns down and that. What are you? Call the SEC office. Tell them Uncle Lou hurt your feelings.
Well, I'd say if Raiola went to Warner Robin, if Raiola went to Warner Robin, you had a better chance at it. But Jesus, I mean, yeah, the dog fans were ready to burn down Buford High School.
Man, he transferred 19 times in high school. Enjoy him this year. Who knows where he'll be next year? Hell, he may transfer before Thanksgiving, dude. This guy moves around like a gypsy.
Uncle Lou's clocked in, boys and girls. We're big time.
Can I get 1 5-star dummy?
Oh yeah, can you hit the button, Lou? Can you hit the button?
I don't have it. I don't have OBS pulled up, man. I can't play.
I gotta get a button, Lou. I gotta get a button. I love it. Ty, let me get you unmuted there. You didn't even get a chance to defend the cowboy insult. You okay over there, buddy?
Listen, man. I mean, I'm representing Texas. Like, I don't know what he wants me to do out here. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Lou, you're a wild. I love this guy. Like, he might be my favorite person I've ever met.
Incredible.
I love this guy.
Oh boy,
Put a little smiley face on the hat. I don't know if you can see it. I can't even fucking put it. Look at that little smiley face on it.
Oh yeah. That's it.
This is a special treat. Uncle Lou is usually busy on Saturdays. We're shooting this a little early, so he was able to make it. I wish
That's
we
why
could do
we're all
this more
drinking
often.
also.
But yeah, this is a treat once in a lifetime. But let's get into it, boys and girls. This is around the high top table talk, where I ask you a question. You get 45 seconds to answer. Based on your answer, you get points. Lou, this is your first time. I am biased, so speak to the person giving you points. You know how that works. Cody, you go first, then Lou, then Ty. Second question, Lou, and then the last question, Ty. We'll start our first. So everyone gets a chance to hear what everyone has to say equally. Here we go. First question, Cody, going to you. Which team, if not all, is most likely to be playoff bound?
Yeah, let me go Texas out of that big three, just because I want Lane Kiffin to Florida so bad. And like Uncle Lou said, God forbid they make the playoffs, muddy things up a little bit. Boy, I tell you, that would really hurt my heart a lot. All I want is to be able him to tweet at Billy Napier when he's at Florida with fucking points.
Okay, you got time on the clock left. It's a minus a point for leaving time there. But Uncle Lou, over to you. Who has the best chance of making the playoffs?
What was the three teams again? Missouri, Texas, and Ole Miss. Man, this is hard. Missouri's the worst, but they have the easiest schedule. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
Are you going to tell me why? Your reasons? You got 45 seconds.
Jackson Dart, they finally beefed up the lines of scrimmage. That's what's been holding them back. Every time they play Georgia and Bama, they get dominated on the line. So they bring in Walter Nolan, and now everything's great there. They're going 11-1. Their only loss will be to LSU. They're going to beat Georgia in the regular season at home and then lose to Georgia in the SEC championship game, 11-2, headed to the playoffs. Ole Miss.
Time. All right, Uncle Luke, little stagger there. We got Uncle Lou on the gun shy. He wasn't ready for that. Okay, I caught him off guard. I was surprised. It was a different Lou there. I didn't know I could ruffle him. Feels good. Feels good to get old Lou ruffled. Cowboy Ty, talk to me, baby.
Well, I don't know. First of all, I love Lou didn't see the three teams. That was fucking great. But I'm going to take Texas. The reason I'm going to take Texas because I think they're going to get by Michigan. When they get by Michigan, the only people that I really think like they're going to have an issue with is Oklahoma, obviously the Red River Shootout, which we don't call it anymore, but whatever. And we have Georgia, and then they have a bye week the last week to play Florida. I'm sorry, I know that you didn't like that. I'm talking to the wrong guy. But Texas, to me, has the easiest way to get there with the talent that they have and that the teams that they're going to face. Like, they might end up with 2 losses, but like those 2 losses in the SEC are going to be fine because that's obviously the toughest conference, and they're not going to not put Texas in, especially after they put them in last year. So to me, Texas is going to get there.
All right, we got a close one here. Low scoring first round. Everyone kind of got off a little slow, sluggish start, like Florida in week 1. We'll let it slide. Lou, you're up first for this question. I'll go a little bit slower for you so you don't miss the question.
I'm ready.
Here we go. Which was loss of Florida, FSU, and Clemson was the biggest shock in week 2? Lou?
Yeah, this one's easy. It's Florida State and Boston College. I gave them the benefit of the doubt when they lost in Ireland in week 1 to Georgia Tech. There's this whole thing about how they're still undefeated in the United States. So they're 14-0 now going back to last year because the Orange Bowl didn't count and Ireland doesn't count. So really they were still undefeated and Boston College was the game that mattered. They got pushed around worse by the Jesuits than they did Georgia Tech. That's bad. And then the team is moping around and DJ Oogabadook throws a bad interception and they don't even chase after the guy. They're walking off the field, don't even care. They won't play the war chant there anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, they're cursed until they get that white frat boy off that show, punny, with that Amazon costume, Native American thing, face painted up, flaming toothpick, send them out there on the 50-yard line. Until they quit doing that and get a real end up in that horse, they're not winning nothing.
I can't. I'm done.
I feel like he threw the first round just to make it interesting because he unleashed.
Golly.
He unleashed.
23.
Cowboy Ty.
DJ Oogabadook.
Cowboy Ty, you're up.
First of all, DJ Oogabadook. Yeah. DJ Oogabadook. I'll have to agree with him. I understand because to me, it was Florida State also. Once again, I'm like Lou. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I said, we're going to struggle in Ireland. Georgia Tech was going to run the ball well. But Boston College ran the ball better than Georgia Tech against a front four who was supposed to have 4 NFL prospects on that offense or defensive line. I mean, I don't know what's going on over there, but they need to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out what the hell's going on because they got no damn heart over there. It's pissing me off.
Cowboy ties fired up. Quick little swirl. Uh-oh. Cody's got sweat coming off. Forehead's a little red. I can't wait for this. Go ahead, Cody. Hit me, baby.
God damn it, Billy fucking Napier. He is so goddamn terrible. He's like a buy here, pay here car salesman, and his fucking cousin is a tow truck driver. Scum of the fucking earth. Let me tell you something about Billy Napier. That is the worst offense I think I've ever seen. Everything out of the pistol set. Oh, what? I wonder what's going to happen. Let's do a pop pass to fucking Trey Wilson. Yeah, like that. Like we all knew that wasn't coming. We've only been playing NCAA for fucking 2 months, Billy. Your whole playbook is an NCAA.
Oh my goodness, Ty. Cody's gonna blow a blood vessel. This so much for ESPN picking us up. We dropped 16 F-bombs in a matter of 30 seconds. I think we just got. That's how you get shut off YouTube real quick, boys. All right.
Is this I've been missing?
This is what you miss on Saturday, Lou. Maybe you just put your Saturdays on hold. Just push it back an hour.
Great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We fired up here.
This is great.
Breakout Game Day.
I'm dialed in.
A little smelling salts for the boys. All right, Cowboy Ty, you gotta make up a big stretch here on the last question. Here we go.
These guys are tough. They're tough today, buddy.
Who is going to be the breakout star on Saturday? Shedeur Sanders at Colorado, Dylan Raiola is going to bring his Nebraska back, or is Quinn Ewers going to just really set the tone this year for Texas and bury old Big Blue? Ty, you're up.
Well, I mean, to me, it's Dylan Raiola. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows about these other guys a little bit because they are NFL prospects. But to me, Dylan Raiola is the guy that is going to break out. Because, first of all, I don't think Colorado's defense is good enough to even stop me. Me, Lou, and fucking Cody might score against Colorado's defense. That's how bad it is. I mean, we're out here like they couldn't stop North Dakota State, and we know they're going to run the ball. Like to me, Dylan Raiola is going to make enough plays. He's going to show the world that he is top-notch quarterback, and he deserved that rating that he got. Not like DJU, and he's going to make the plays, and he's going to show everyone that, hey, I'm here, and I'm here for you.
Cody?
Yeah, give me Raiola. I mean, he's the only one that's really unproven. I think he can make a big splash. I think the offensive line is better at Nebraska than it probably is definitely at Colorado. I mean, we don't even know if Shedeur is going to make it through the season the way that he's getting hit. And then Texas, I don't know. They've lost so much up front. I think they're going to depend on Ewers to make plays, and I don't know if he's that type of guy. I don't think he can go and win you a game necessarily. They lose a bunch of wide receivers last year to the draft. One of them, Xavier Worthy, we saw ball out. I had a bad comp against. Oh well, is what it is.
Okay. I took 2 points. Okay, go ahead. It's time anyway.
Give me Raiola.
So for those of you at home, we have an NFL draft show, and Cody was low on Xavier Worthy, and I was trolling him last night because obviously he gets the game ball in game one, and then so he was.
Hold on. The kid
your
still
time's
can't
up.
fucking catch.
He caught a touchdown
around
pass
the end.
He caught a touchdown pass.
Christ.
He caught a touchdown pass and ran for another one. I'm just letting you know. Lou, who do you got?
Well, this one's obvious. I want to file an objection to the question to start with. Shedeur Sanders and Quinn Ewers have already broke out. Were you not alive in 2023? Those are two of the best quarterbacks on the planet. Of course it's Dylan Raiola. Never mind the fact that Quinn Ewers is playing who? Michigan, a real defense. Shedeur Sanders is playing who? Nebraska, real defense. Who's Dylan Raiola playing? Colorado? Holy shit! These people don't know anything at all about defense. The obvious answer is Dylan Raiola, son. Give me a break. He's the only option. He's the only one that can break out. Half the people still think he's a Chef Boyardee can of ravioli. Of course it's Dylan Raiola, man. This is too easy. The other two broke out along.
I feel like my question just got
5-star dummy.
I feel like my question got obliterated there. I mean, it seemed obvious, but I really thought, like, again, like a breakout for this season. Like they, but maybe I'm wrong. I got buried by Lou there. Like it just this is what a 5-star dummy feels like in the comments section. I just got a real life there from Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou, you took home your first time on Hightop Game Day by a landslide. Here's what I love. You brought up props.
This is the biggest achievement. This is my biggest win since I was awarded the #1 closet Miami Hurricanes fan on all of YouTube. Thank you.
He brought out not one, but two props, the cowboy hat and the megaphone. I mean, you're playing to that's an automatic 10-point score when you bring out props to the show. Go ahead, Uncle Lou. You get your 30 seconds of fame to say whatever you want, and then we'll come back and close down the show. But I'm going to go to you, Lou.
Okay. I want to agree with something somebody said earlier about the Colorado and Nebraska game. I think that can be a really, really good game. I mean, Colorado offensively, at least throwing the ball, I think is elite. They do have to protect Shador. And I don't like the whole circus atmosphere that goes on around Colorado. I wouldn't want Shador on my team for that reason, but he is fun to watch. He's an exciting football player, and he's one of the toughest football players on the planet because the guy gets bit in half every other time he drops back to throw, and he stands in the pocket, takes the hit, delivers dimes downfield. Like, you can't deny it. You cannot like his personality or sort of the sideshow stuff, but you can't deny the kid's talent. So I think that does have potential to be a good game. I'm picking Nebraska to win that one. At home in Lincoln. But that's going to be a great game. Tennessee will roll NC State. Texas will beat Michigan and cover the spread. What else is going on? What about Oklahoma State and Arkansas? Interesting game. Oklahoma State got no defense. The Pig Sueys put up 70 points. Oh, my God, 70. It's going to be a good game.
I love it. I think, Cody, no, you're not going. Whoa. No. Hold on, Cody. Hold on. Look, I think the Colorado game is. I gotta mute Cody. The Colorado game should be fun, Uncle Lou. It should be a great one. I agree with Shador Sanders is very fun to watch. Cody, you don't get people's champ when you lose. That's not how this works. Keep your headband on. I'm keeping you muted. You don't get nope. You don't get people's champ when you lose. You got to bring it out in the middle of your questions. Nope. You're muted. Nobody can hear you. Boys and girls. Ty, we got Cowboy Ty with us, being a big part of the show. Uncle Lou, tell them where they can give you a follow, though, and keep up with you. I know you have your shows every Saturday. Tell them how they can give you a follow.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, do a search for Uncle Lou. My channel will come up. Live streams all day on Saturday, call-in shows Tuesday and Thursday, and pointless, barely watchable videos uploaded almost every single day of the week. Year-round, there's no off-season on LouTube. Watch Uncle Lou. It'll make you smarter, and it'll lower your cholesterol, which will get you off that Lipitor, which is killing you from the inside out. Thank you.
Incredible. Gents, that's Cody the Professor, Uncle Lou, Ty. Boys, don't go anywhere. We'll close it down here in just a minute. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's segment of Hightop Sports Game Day. Absolute banger. Fantastic Saturday. Hope you guys enjoy your Saturday. A great slate of games for all of you. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Check out Prize Picks down below. Use code Hightop, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.